Here we are just a few days before Barack Obama takes office as president, and from that point on we'll be evaluating Obama in terms of the job he's doing as president. But right now, as his transition winds up, we can look at what the American people think about the job he's done between the point where he was elected November 4th and right now, and boy, the data are positive. Let's look at three different measures we have in our recent polling. First of all, straightforward. How has Barack Obama handled the presidential transition? 83% say he's handled it well. Look by comparison, George W. Bush back in January of 2001, and he had an unusual transition because remember, he didn't even get the presidency until after the Supreme Court ruled in December in that battle with Al Gore, so it was tricky. At that point, Bush got 61% approval for handling the transition. And if we go all the way back to 1993, Bill Clinton, his transition after defeating George H.W. Bush, 68% approval. So of these three most recent presidents, Obama clearly gets the most positive marks for how he has handled the transition. Second question, what about Obama's appointments? One of the big things that a president-elect does in the transition period is appoint his cabinet and other key officials. Do you think that Obama's appointments to his cabinet are outstanding or above average? Well, 45% of Americans say yes. That's not as positive as some of the other measures on Obama, just slightly higher than Bush. He got 38% credit for above average or outstanding cabinet appointments back in 2001, and go back to Bill Clinton in 1993, 32% approval. So Obama's still a little higher on this appointment measure than either of his two predecessors, but not by a huge margin. Finally, Obama the man. Favorable, unfavorable opinion of Barack Obama. Look at this number, 78% favorable rating. He was at a 68% favorable at about the time he was elected in November, which was already very high. So he's jumped 10 points during this transition, and that's a very, very high favorable number for a political figure. Keep in mind, anybody that's in the middle of politics, by definition, has people that don't like them, i.e. people on the other side of the aisle, the other party, and yet right now Obama, 78% favorable rating, very, very, very high. So our verdict here at Gallup, the American people tell us Barack Obama gets very high marks for how he's handled the transition between the time he was elected and his pending inauguration. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, editor-in-chief of the Gallup poll.